Okay, Assalamu alaikum and good evening. Bismillah wa salatu salam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam amma ba'd. Yes, I'm back again. My name again is Taalib Abdur Rahim Pugh. Back with this book right here, Patience and Gratitude. Very good book, authored by the likes of the noble Sheikh Ibn Qayyim Al-Jawziyya, rahimahullah, who died 1292. He was born 1292 CE and died 1350 CE, which is a Christian era. I'm returning back, as this being the third video, part 3, in relation to speaking on gratitude, and it's going to be as brief as I can, because I was trying to do this commentary within at least 2 to 3 videos. So after 3 videos it would be a bit much, and I didn't want to go further, because pretty much I'm not a scholar. I'm not even a student of knowledge at the level of most students of knowledge. I'm just a person who happens to study a little bit and sought the way of the students of knowledge for a while I was living in Egypt. And I learned a little bit of the etiquettes of learning and studying, but I take from the books of the scholars and their words and statements, and I just try to bring to the people who don't have pretty much barely any knowledge of Islam, even dawah, as far as giving knowledge to non-Muslims and calling them to Islam, besides the Muslims that don't understand their faith themselves, to the correct way of Islam, and things in relation to our belief and understanding, like Aqidah, which is our belief system, is our creed, is what we're supposed to believe in when it comes to faith, and the basis of it is Tawheed, which is clear, pure monotheism, singling out Allah in worship alone, and putting your trust in Allah, and in this book, as it is known, being patient for Allah, and also having gratitude, being thankful to Allah. So this book is based on that. And the last video that I did was the second one, and as well as the first, I was speaking on patience. So I'm going to real quick go off of patience, but before I go from patience to gratitude, I want to speak from the dalil, the backing of what the proofs are, the actual proofs of patience, which lies within the Quran. And according to this, in chapter 9, patience in the Quran, Imam Ahmed said Allah has mentioned patience in the Quran in 90 places. Here we will list the different contexts in which patience appears. So the Sheikh Ibn Qayyim Al-Jawziyya, he brought this as proofs for the people to have the proofs of where patience is important, and how much of it is a benefit to the people. Instruction. Number 1, instruction. Patience is enjoined upon believers, and it says, and be patient, for your patience is but by Allah. And this is in Surah Al-Nahl, which is the 16th surah, and it's the 127th ayat, or verse, 16th chapter, 127th verse in English. And then it says, to go on, it says, now await in patience the command of your Lord. And this is Surah At-Tur, which is ayat 52. Surah 52, ayat 48. Okay, and then second is that which is that which is opposite to patience is forbidden. Okay, so which is opposite to patience is forbidden, and be in no haste about the unbelievers. So this is saying, pretty much the unbelievers and the likes of them, or those people who be like the unbelievers, which is hasteful. They say about within the West, the majority of the people in the West are not Muslim, excluding UK. You got big communities of Muslims there, but the majority and dominant factor of these lands are non-Muslims, so many of them are known to be hasty in their actions and things that they do, and rushing for to suit themselves and to have their fulfillments from their desires, that whatever they desire, whether it's good for them or bad for them. So this is in Surah Al-Ahqaf, and this is the 46th Surah, 35th ayah. Okay, so then the next it says, so lose not heart nor fall in despair. And this is Surah Al-Imran, the third surah in the Quran, in the 139th ayah or verse. And then it says, and be not like the companion of the fish. And this is this is Yunus alayhi salam, when he cried out in agony, which is in Surah Al-Qalam. Surah Al-Qalam. Okay, and that's the 68th surah and the 48th verse. So pretty much this is plenty of proof right here, and I don't have to go on much further. As I said, this book is purchasable. You can purchase it at any Muslim store pretty much. You can even get it online. You look it up for Islamic books and put the name in, Patience and Gratitude by Ibn Qayyim Al-Jawziyya, and inshallah you should be able to purchase it in that way, or through direct purchase in the store. Okay, so I'm going to go on and move on to gratitude. Okay, where are we at? Actually, I should have left a mark there. Okay. First, we'll start as it says in the Quran, we'll start with gratitude with some proofs first. And then it says in chapter 15 in this book, Gratitude in the Quran, Allah tells us, then remember me, I will remember you. Be grateful to me and do not reject me. And this is in Surah Al-Baqarah. Surah Al-Baqarah, which is the second surah of the Quran, and the 152nd or 152nd ayat. Okay, and He has told us that only those who are grateful to Him truly worship Him. Okay, so this is what the Shaykh had said, that Allah had told us that, those who are believers, those who worship Him, they are grateful to Him, truly worship Him. Those who are, let me just rephrase it, those who are grateful to Him, they truly worship Him, and vice versa, because when you really truly worship Allah, it's like you have no choice but to be grateful, because that's the connection, that's the relationship that you have with Him. So as it says and goes on, Allah has mentioned gratitude alongside Iman. Actually, let me finish. Let me go back, because there's a surah right there. Ayat right here. And be grateful to Allah if it is if it is Him you worship. Surah Al-Baqarah, and that's the second surah again in the 172nd verse. Allah has mentioned gratitude alongside Iman. This is what the Shaykh is saying, and has made it clear that He gains nothing from punishment. His people, nothing from punishing His people if they give thanks to Him and believe in Him. Okay? So it goes on, what can Allah gain by your punishment if you are grateful and you believe? This is in Surah An-Nisa, and that's the fourth surah, the fourth chapter in the Quran, in the 147th ayat verse in the Quran. In other words, this is the Shaykh, if you carry out the duties for which you were created, namely gratitude and Iman, why should Allah punish you? Okay, so in other words, if you carry out the duties for which you were created, namely gratitude and Iman, which means faith, why should Allah punish you? And then it goes, Allah has divided people into two categories: the people of gratitude, shukr, and the people of ingratitude, kufr. Okay? And kufr is also known as disbelief. The thing most disliked by him is kufr, and the people of kufr, the thing most liked by him is gratitude, and the people of gratitude are the ones he is liked, that are liked. As it goes on, we showed him, man, the way, whether he be grateful or ungrateful, rest on his will. And this is in Surah Al-Insan, that's the 76th Surah, 3rd verse. According to the Quran, this is the Shaykh saying, according to the Quran, the Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salatu salam said, "This is by the grace of my Lord, to test me whether I am grateful or ungrateful. And if any is grateful, truly his gratitude is a gain for his own soul. But if any is ungrateful, truly my Lord is free of all needs, supreme in honor." And this is in Surah An-Naml, and this, which is the 27th Surah and the 40th ayat. Okay, let me proceed on. Now, to speak about rewards of gratitude, the Sheikh speaks, and he brings proofs with ayats from the Quran. He says the reward of gratitude is unlimited. Okay, the reward of gratitude is unlimited. If you are grateful, I will add more favors onto you. And this is in Surah Ibrahim, the 14th Surah and the 7th verse. In contrast, this is the Sheikh speaking, other rewards and divine favors are conditional upon his will. For example, relief from poverty. Okay? And it says in the Quran, "But if you fear poverty, soon will Allah enrich you, if He wills." And this is in Surah At-Tawbah, and that's the 9th Surah, 28th verse. And for like answering prayers, Allah says this, "Nay, on him would you call, and if it be his will, he would remove the distress which occasioned your call upon him." So when a person is calling on Allah with distress, if Allah will, and He wills for this person, He will answer, and He will remove distress, the distress. Okay, inshallah. So the surah, this is Surah An'am, sort of the 6th Surah and the 41st verse. And this is the risk, sustenance, provision. He's saying with risk, sustenance, and provision, He gives. It says He gives sustenance to whom He pleases, and that's Allah speaking, saying He gives sustenance to whom He pleases. And this is Surah Al-Ashura, which is the 42nd Surah, 19th verse. Okay, so there's many benefits and rewards that Allah keeps giving, even forgiveness. And I will leave it on this last one. He forgives whom He wills, as it says, Allah, and He punishes whom He wills. And this is Surah Al-Fath, 48th 48th Surah, 14th ayat. Okay, so Allah is very gracious, and He gives to those who are thankful and they have gratitude. And now a little bit from the hadith on the gratitude. It was reported that the Prophet, and this is in chapter 16, a hadith on gratitude. It was reported that the Prophet ﷺ stayed up all night standing until his feet became swollen. When he was asked, why are you doing this when Allah has forgiven all your past and future wrong actions? He replied, should I not be grateful? Should I not be a grateful slave? And this is in Hadith al-Bukhari and Muslim. The Prophet ﷺ told Mu'adh radiyallahu an, may Allah be pleased with him. By Allah, I love you. So do not forget to say at the end of every salah, every prayer, which is obligatory, O Allah, help me to remember you and to give thanks to you and to worship you well. And this is in Ahmed and at-Tirmidhi. Okay, Tirmidhi is one of the hadiths, and Ahmed is a hadith from Imam Ahmed. Hisham ibn Urwan said, among the dua of the Prophet ﷺ, which means dua means prayer, is, O Allah, help me to remember you, to give thanks to you, and to worship you well. So this is repeated. Okay, so this shows the the importance of having gratitude and being grateful to Allah, being thankful. You understand? As I mentioned earlier, gratitude is also known religiously from the word shakar, to be thankful. So on that, I will conclude, because I don't have that much time and I don't want to take up too much time to make the videos too long and lengthy that people probably get bored and don't want to listen, or sit there and just go through it. I'm praying to Allah, and I pray to Allah, oh Allah, that this is something beneficial to the people that I have spoken in a good way, without anything that was incorrect. But if anything that was incorrect and wrong, may Allah forgive me, and for it is from my being imperfect, and that it is not from Allah, because surely Allah speaks the truth. Okay, so on that note, patience and gratitude, they're both together a very important component, and they need to be established in our hearts sincerely, and we need to use them in our lives. A lot of the things that are going on is because of lack of patience, and because of definitely lack of gratitude. People want this and want that and want to get this so fast and hasty, and they're not patient, and then they of course they go after it, and then after they get it, if Allah allows them to get these things, they're so ungrateful, and then later on they get taken away from them when Allah chooses to do so, and then they're unhappy and sad, and then fall into depression, and even want to probably even go crazy out of their minds or kill themselves, which is the worst. And these are the things, or kill other people at the same, like a man, he decides to get married or whatever, and he's married to this woman, then later on in life, because he was hasty, he didn't choose the right woman, or the woman didn't make him happy, or she wasn't happy with him. It's the opposite way, and then later on she decides to go her own direction. And this happens also vice versa, but mostly you hear about the man, and he loses touch of his happiness that he had, because he loses her, and then later on decides to take his life and her life. And this is these are the regular things that happen in the societies, such as America especially. These Western societies, and taking their lives and stuff, because they not grateful to Allah and thankful for what they have. And then, if other than that, besides that, is patience, a lack of patience, which led them to this path. So, may Allah guide the Muslims, ultimately us, on the path to be more patient, so we don't make these bad mistakes as Muslims, and accept that we need to be thankful, and that we need to have gratitude in our hearts for Allah. We need this. to the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, and that Allah will give us good in the hereafter. And this is what our basis of our life is based on with Islam, is that we're trying to build a way to please Allah, build our life up to please Allah while we're alive, and then when inshallah we can have a good place in paradise, in Jannah, in the hereafter, and not end up in the hellfire, not end up in eternal torment, as we see punishment here in this earth. It's going to be the worst of. So let's be grateful to what we have and strive for what we have and do better. Ask Allah, have patience with Him, and ask Allah and continue on this path of Islam. And for the non-Muslims, may Allah guide you to Islam, and that you can gain that patience that is needed, that you can gain that gratitude. Some of you are the best of the non-Muslims that have patience and have some of these qualities of Muslims. The only thing is you don't want to cross over that road, that thin line to just say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except Allah, and that Muhammad is His slave and last servant, messenger. But this is something that you have to develop in your life later to see and learn. If you learn and you study Islam and you know it, like some of my family members, what are you waiting for? It's better to be a bad Muslim, a sinning Muslim, than to not be a Muslim at all. Because Allah is going to only accept the ones who believe in Him upon this understanding, which is called Tawheed, upon that He is the one and only truly worthy of worship. And there are no others that compare in worship to Him, and there is no one who shares divinity with Him. This is not what Allah is going to accept. He's going to accept only the belief that there is only one, and He is the only one worthy of worship, and that He is the only one who will judge you on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah. And that's the day that we're going to be truly held accountable for our beliefs and our deeds. So may Allah guide you to Islam ultimately. Ameen. Allahumma ameen. Thank you very much for listening. Have a joyous rest of your year to come. A beneficial, I should rather say beneficial and prosperous year, that you will be pleasing your Lord, worshipping your Lord, and then later on down the line you get the good things and rewards that Allah gives to you. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum. Subhanakallahumma hamdihi ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.